which I did go in and check what people did in Desmos, both at home yesterday and then this morning, because I needed to chat with a couple people about, hey, you didn't finish, or hey, it looked like you struggled. So if I didn't talk with you, it seemed like things are okay, right? So today's lesson is all about scaling still, but really involving percents. So yesterday's Desmos and yesterday's lesson kind of walked us through scaling quantities like in various ways, right? But another way that we can scale values is based off percentages. And I tend to like, this is one of those situations where I overteach. So the reason you have books in front of you, oh, I'm an idiot. Yup, I'm an idiot. You shouldn't talk about yourself like that. The books in front of you won't do you any good because we're back in CC2 now. Ha, hey, I'm with you now. So I'm still not thinking clearly. I have like a head cold or something. Like I worked out on the farm for like 8 or 9 hours in the snow on Saturday, and I got sick. So sorry, my brain's still not with it. Do the example problem on your paper with your partner. I'm going to run and go grab the books that we're supposed to have because I don't have a classroom set of those in here right now. And then we'll talk about how to use the book and get through the rest of class. But you're going to need graph paper. So if you don't yet have graph paper, go ahead and get it. Now, here's the deal. I want you and your partner, listen, to solve this without a calculator. And by that, I mean, how can you make this easier? How can we approximate things? Like, you don't have to jump right to the answer. Right? A lot of times math is easier if we break it apart and do like little by little and put it back together. So talk with your teammate. How could you make this easier? How could you do it without a calculator? What will the price be after the discount? Now, if you're like, how do I draw a diagram of something like this? You could draw a diagram that involves the 100% and then show like coming back for the discount, or like whatever makes sense in your brain. All right, then I gotta go grab our books. So this is on your paper though. This is on your homework paper. If you're not looking at this on your desk right now, I'm worried that you don't have 713. This is on 713. This is on 713. Everybody should have it in front of them right now. Highlight what's important. I had a student in the past that invented what they called the 10% rule. I'm curious if anyone knows what they were talking about. Oh. I'm not curious right this moment, though, because I'll be right back. I just got to unlock this. Now we're done.
5. This one was 45 if I would tell you. Okay, so let's do 200 divided by 5, 45 divided by 10. And then we add those together, and that's a 50. And we add 3 of those together, and then that'll be the price. Is it a 9? Yeah, it is. Because 9 times 5 equals 45. So that should be, yeah. And then, okay, so a fifth is 49 times 3 equals 147 is the price now. Yeah, I took that. What? Oh, no. So I did it where I took the original price. I split it, and then I divided it by 5, since it's 60% off. That's 25. So when I times 3, since it's 60%. So, yeah, and then we take this off that.
Here's the right one. Here's the right one. I have to be right? That's a dangerous thing to say.
Yeah. 147 minus 100.
My priority needs to get the cards back from you guys. All right. Speaking of getting cards back, CC2 book and find this lesson in the book. And then once somebody finds the page, you can tell all of us the page if you want to make everyone's life easier. Get your cards ready. Yep, there's Mason. 390. No, that's the page number. All right. So, what did you and Noah do to solve for the mattress problem?
Oh my gosh, did you just pull my random cards?
I did. First thing in this class.
Hey! Let's go. Alright, well.
Hey, but you're not so.
Yeah. So, I took that amazing hint that you said as you were leaving the room, and I found 10%, which is 24.5. And then I multiplied it by 6, got 147.
So Soph said we can find 10% by like moving the decimal, at least I assume, since you said that you got 24.5. Since it's money, how many decimal places do we default to? 2, even though it's unnecessary. And then you did what?
Multiplied it by 6 because then it'd be 60%.
And then you did what? Since it's 60% off, because then we want to find the discounted price of the bed, right? Like the final price. No, wait, there's an easier way. There's a better way. Lucy, do you know our better way?
Multiply it by 0.6.
That will work to get us our discount also. What up, Mr. Smith? You need something?
Trying to be real sneaky, like for Alex Wells, but I don't see it.
Nah, next class.
This is
Connections.
connections. Thank you.
Nick, do you have a what else we could do?
I think I have a little bit of an idea. So I figured out. Wait, can I come up? I think this is.
You can't. I'm going to draw a diagram real quick, though, to help other people that didn't figure this out necessarily. So we want 60%. So, guys, I often make like a little tick at 50%. The whole, guys, if you didn't draw a diagram for this, go ahead and draw a diagram, like a little bar. $245. $245.
I was going beyond that.
Hang on to
I
that.
was going like algebra.
Let me reshuffle you because I think you're about to make it kind of complicated, which is probably right.
I was going with the algebraic equation for finding out.
You're probably right, and you're like 100% right, but you're making it more complicated than it needs to be. So hang on to it.
Okay, I'll go
What
with
you're doing is the way that I used to teach,
Okay.
which is actually like the learn this, memorize this, spit it at you, and regurgitate. Like it's not. So hang on, just sit down for a second.
The unphoenix way to learn things?
Yeah, kind of, or the old school way to learn things.
Old schools.
Bryson, I'll let you go ahead, even though your card hasn't come up. I think you're on the same wavelength as me. What's the easier way to deal with a 60% off sale?
Well, you take 245, you divide it by 5, so you can find the fifths, because it makes it quicker. Since if you have 20%,
Is dividing by 5 quicker than dividing by 10?
yes.
I disagree.
Well, it's a bigger number.
But like, which is easier, moving the decimal or doing the math of dividing by 5? Like, if you think dividing by 5 is easier, that's fine. You can take that way. But the way I'm trying to teach people here is what will like always work. You're out to eat. You're trying to figure out the tip. You're trying to like something that'll always work. Because guys, I'm not joking. Like when I walk in the stores and they have 10% off equals, 20% off equals, 30% off equals, I want to light those signs on fire. The fact that we have signs like that in our stores shows how stupid America is. And I'm sorry, that's just the darn truth of it. Guys, if it's 60% off, what percent is on? 40. If you subtracted, you're silly. If you subtracted, you're silly. You're working too hard. Turn on your brain. If it's 60% off, it's 40% on. If I find that 10% is 24.5, What should I do with this? Multiply by 4 and you're done. No subtraction necessary. So if it's 60% off, right, 60% off, that means it's 40% on we can find 10% is 24.5. Sorry, I goofed this up. Normally we go percent on bottom, whatever else we're talking about on top. It doesn't really matter. But I had dollars on top up here, so I really should have kept dollars on top. So I'll just admit my goof right there. I kind of made my units not agree. So then if I do 40, well, what double this? What's 24.5 doubled?
49.
49, right? And then double that again.
98.
What a deal. No subtraction necessary. Oh, absolutely. You can still get the right answer about 1,000 other ways. But my job is to try to teach you the most efficient way. On page 390, and or it might move to 391 at this point, try the next percent application problem while I pass out papers.
It's the second most efficient way.
What do you mean second most? But what if you didn't have a calculator?
It depends on.
Can you do 245 times 0.4 in your head? Because I'm curious what you're talking about. Where you keep arguing algebra? What do you mean? What work would you do? How does that apply to this situation? I'm kind of confused.
So, like in this situation, this is pretty much. It's actually a very from like B to A. So you have the value that it's being decreased by. I was thinking you could maybe like use an algorithm to figure out what the conversion rate from A to B would be.
Does that really sound easier than what we just did?
It depends on if you have a calculator.
So all to be able to admit what we've said is not true. I think you want to cling on to like what you're saying. Like, I'm not saying what you said is wrong. What you're saying your way is better than mine. I'm going to push back. You just spent like 3 minutes explaining what you did. I think it's very my way. And this is what I'm trying to convince you of. This is what I'm trying to convince you of. Every time I'm talking, I think you're just listening. I don't think you're actually listening. I don't think you actually listen to what I did on the board. I think you just really want to get me stuck on this because you did not write down anything that I did. And that's okay if that's the choice you make. But if you don't understand how to do it my way because you fought against it, that's going to be a huge problem. But this is where I'm confused. How do you still think the way that you're trying to explain to me is better than our two-step way that we did it there? Because even when I tried to move on from the problem, you tried to subtly say, well, the second best way, trying to argue that your way is better. But if it's this complicated to explain, do you really think this is right? a thing and doing the same job, but making it have more steps. You're right. I can walk you through how to do that. But I'm trying not to teach the algorithmic memorize this, apply this way. I'm trying to teach you to use your brain way. Does that make sense? I'll come back and do this problem the algorithmic way. But like, you got to realize that is more complicated. I'm trying to teach you the more efficient way. Math is really about efficiency. I lost my
I
cards.
guess I'm just used to solving things in a way a computer can understand them because I'm used to coding.
Okay. All right, so Hugo's older sister Sandra.
Yes.
What?
You weren't in Marcelo.
You good, man? Yeah, you, Colin, the one trying to make this percussion recital. You good? Okay. If you end up having a percussion recital, invite me. I would love to come see you.
We have
play,
a band
but that
concert
is
on
not
Thursday.
this.
Yeah.
I heard about that. So, Hugo's older sister, Sandra, has the job on Blada, was paid a salary of $3,000. Ooh. Good job, Sandra. 6% raise. Right? Annabelle, can you walk me through... crap. Wait, I guess you and Nick weren't really working because Nick and I were back there nerding out. Did you make it through this problem or no? Okay, totally fine. I kind of stole your partner. Noah? Legit, yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Most of the time, I mean, I can start just doing this to you. These cards are what it lets me not think. I'm trying not to pick people. This is how I pick people.
Okay, that makes sense. Well, what I did is I just took 3,000 and multiplied it by 0.6. Like no, 0.06, and then you
It's like in your head, on paper, with a calculator.
on paper.
Okay.
You didn't use
I got an easier way. But okay, keep going.
And then I added it to 3,000, which I'm not saying it's easy, but it's not the hardest thing in the world to do. Hey,
He said I'm not saying, he did say the bad word, but he said not in front of it.
okay.
So
No,
our,
thing.
guys, all of this is tying back to proportional reasoning. Here 100% was 3,000. Zach, you got any ideas on how I could do something like I did last slide, not use a calculator, not write any work out, and still figure out the raise? And yes, Zach's card did come up.
Fine, 1% of 3,000.
Why 1%?
Because it's 6%, so it would be better if you found 1%, so you could just multiply by 6.
Yeah, so like the 10% rule, but that won't work here because 6 is not a multiple of 10%. We can do the 1% rule, bump the decimal twice, and say 1% is 30. Like guys, I do not care how you solve these problems. I like to argue with you guys to make you defend your math and explain it. But if you get to the right answer, you get to the right answer. So the only reason I'm pushing back against Nick over there is I think it's a little inefficient what he did, but it's right. What he did is right. I just think he took the long road, which sometimes that's okay. We can take the scenic route. I do that all the time. So if 1% is 30, how do I find 6%? Multiply by 6. Proportional reasoning. So 6% would then, well, it's 6 times 3. 18, so then put the 0 on. Add it. Now, if I wanted to one-step this, how could I multiply? Now, I might need a calculator to do this, or to be better at math than I am. Adele?
I had a question about the multiplier.
Okay, go ahead.
Would that be the same as the scale factor?
Yeah, so what we're multiplying by here, we are scaling quantities now. Instead of like scaling shapes, we're scaling like dollars, right? We're literally scaling dollars. Isaac, do you know what I can multiply by here, especially if I was using a calculator?
1.06.
Yeah, this whole thing together, if we were like draw out the model, especially if we were using a calculator, is 1.06 because it's 1 plus 0.06, right? The 100% plus our 6% raise. Questions? Let's do another and see how good we are at this.
So if like you're like at a store and you see a 50%
10% or, oh, okay, 50% off. What's the easier way to do 50%?
Okay. 30% off.
30%.
Off on beans. Well,
Sure, beans.
no, if the price of beans is raising by 30%,
Yeah.
then could you, if you're in the store, could you just like pull out your calculator and multiply it by 1.3, and that's the total price?
Yeah, especially if like you are the person working at that grocery store re-tagging everything. Yeah.
Plus, I don't think
Or if it's your store, right? What if you are the owner of the shop? Marina teaches gymnastics and she is paid $12.50 an hour, but she's up what?
100%.
Talk with your partner about what this means. All three different parts, right? We got ABC here. Hold on a second. All right, so what we're trying to do here, that is 100% correct. If you want to do the algebraic thing, if you want to do the algebraic method, the sale is 60. Well, not small. I can't use the 60 because that's 60% more. So really, I need to say the sale is 40% of the or the original, and this is I think is where the algorithm is something that would be really tricky. The original by itself is divide by the percent value. So the algebra that essentially gets set up is like 0.4 times the original price, or we could do 0.6 times the original price, but then that means it gets subtracted. But up here, this is where I'm saying the algebra is a little tricky. If we were trying to find this number, which is like the next question we're going to do, B tells us what the sale price is, work backwards to the original. Doing this is a little complicated. It's not wrong. Absolutely not wrong. But I just don't know if we're good enough at math yet to go this kind of complicated route. So instead, we can just set up what we know, which is find 10%, find 1% or right? So humor me when you try it the kind of easier way for now. That's what I was about to say. On the practice, feel free to get as crazy as you want. Like, and you come in with like a page full of work and be like, ha, it was super difficult, but it worked. I'm like, I love being proved wrong. Just in class, I'm trying to show you how to be efficient. Right? Then you can get creative outside of class. Yes?
So, for me, is she keeping her raise from the other one?
No, so, yeah, this is where like CPM, I don't love how they write their questions, where this should be like now separately or differently, like alternatively. So yeah, Bryson's asking, do we keep the raise from here when we go down to B? And you could have solved it either way, right? So Ren, that's funny, your guys' cards were next. Oh, well that makes sense, because I didn't shuffle very well apparently. Ren, what's 100% raise mean?
It means, no, I actually know this. Okay. So 100% of 12.5 is 12.5, so therefore, your like hourly pay would be double.
Ah, so when you get a raise of 100%, someone's doubling your pay. So if she got a raise of 100%, her new pay would be $25. Now, if we got a raise of 75, guys, now there's a reason they're doing this. 75%. We've talked about a 10% rule. We've talked about a 1% rule. I don't even like using the word rule. Trick, shortcut, I don't know what to say. Zach?
You want me to explain this one? Like,
I mean, I was going to draw a card, but you're just raising your hand very nicely, and like, so I feel like I kind of have to call on you.
the 75% when you divide by 4. Because
What rule could we say here, potentially? The 25% rule, because if the percent we're looking for can be based off of 25, Val, you with me?
Yeah.
Then we can find first 25% and go from there. Now, I can't guarantee that that's like the E word, but like, what's 25% of 12? 3. What's 25% of 50? Well, what's half of 50? 25. Half that again. Like 12.5. So like 13 cents maybe. Like if we round like 13 cents, right? 313. But so then if we triple this, right? So times 3 to get to 75%. Okay, so 3, not 3. Somebody help me out, because obviously my brain's
9.375.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Hey, look, my brain is still trying to recover. Math is hard. So, like 9.38, or if we had a calculator to like stick it to my teachers that always said, "You won't have a calculator when you grow up." Like, haha, Mrs. Akers, yes I do.
We actually didn't say that. Everybody has
What?
a calculator.
Actually, Mrs. Akers was one of my favorite teachers, and she would just laugh right back at me. She was like, "I told you you'd have a calculator," but that's why I'll shout her out. But I won't actually throw shade at any teacher that I didn't like. If you were just gonna like straight up get to this answer, like you had a calculator, you want to be like Noah and flex that you can still do math on paper. Like I can't. I haven't done it in a long time. What could be the single? Might as well call on somebody. Bryson. What could be our single multiplier here to do her raise from Part B?
Part B,
Yeah, she's gonna get a 75% raise.
1.75.
Yeah, a 75% raise is like saying 1 plus 0.75, which is the same as saying a multiplier of 1.75 times whatever the original amount was. So if you had a calculator, right, because most of the time you do, you could just do that as well. Questions?
The only reason I don't think she's on the paper is because we weren't allowed calculators last year.
So, oh, wait a minute. So, Liam was working on a problem and drew a diagram. So, especially for all of you saying, wait, this hurts. His diagram is correct. His diagram is what he's supposed to be working with. The question is what he wrote correct? And if not, how do we fix it? So talk with your partner. How do we find X here? And you could copy down the diagram to get you started. Nudge, nudge.
I think he originally was
Wink,
You didn't say
wink.
the whole thing. You didn't say nudge.
Cough, cough, hint, hint, nudge, nudge,
Marco
wink,
was
wink.
talking about it to our campus friend. He's like, Gus is the math teacher. Whenever he says something he wants us to do, he always goes, hint, hint, nudge, nudge.
I'm glad that's apparently a thing that I do enough that it is who I am.
Yeah.
Did she also talk about my random cards?
No.
Oh, come on!
I thought the main factor was
There's a lot of these.
Did you talk about DJ Hudcap?
Yes, I talked about that. We were all supposed to describe our teachers.
Wait, where was this?
In the car. Margot was just there. She doesn't even go to her softball.
Do you even go here?
What?
It was this thing that we had from college.
Do you go here? Did you make that joke purely for yourself? Not know about
Yes. My friends have a podcast, and they'll always be like, who was that for? Like when one of them says something very specific, and a lot of them, Andrew will be like, just for me. It was for me and me alone. Like when he makes a joke. I can't tell you because it's not school appropriate.
Wait, are you
They say potty mouth words.
No, like no, like no. What's here?
Yeah, but no.
Wait, I've seen my mom.
No.
Yeah,
Maybe I'm gonna go look it up now. What's it about?
it's like a sci-fi thing.
Oh, nice. I'm not as into sci-fi. I never really got it.
I love sci-fi.
All right, back together, please. Back together, please. I got some people that are getting a lot of their homework done right now, I think. Val, help me out here, man. What? So, like, what else do I know if I'm trying to draw my own diagram? Like, help me out here.
We know one of the spots is 14%.
We know one of the spots is 14%, but 14%, like, say more.
Because as we see on the diagram, if you add 14%, that makes it 100%, which is 72, which means the other gap is 86%.
Oh, so we didn't know where this location was or how long this was, But if we come down here, we can do the math and say, since from here plus 14 makes 100%, then at here must be, what percent did you say? 86%. Thank you very much, Val. Leah, where do we go from there? I need to shuffle this deck.
Yes, you do.
Because it keeps being the people who are next
Here,
to
let me
each
shuffle
other.
it.
At the end of class.
Couldn't you multiply 72 by 0.86?
Yeah. Yeah, if I had a calculator. What if I don't?
Use your brain.
Use my brain.
I don't know. Just math.
Sorry, shoot.
I'm scared.
Minions aren't the only people with their own language. Do you want to keep going or you want to move on, Leah? Yep. Isaac. What are you, if you didn't have a calculator, hey Mason, thanks. Isaac, if you didn't have a calculator, what could you do here? Jonah, we could use two of the rules that we've talked about today. We really could use two of the rules. Well, okay, so actually let me give Nick some like, what do I want to say? Vindication. I got to give Nick some vindication here. Because what we're trying to do is figure out how we solve for x. So, x is...
So that's what I described with algebra.
X we can solve with algebra. Right? Now there's different ways to write this. Probably a million if you explore all the options.
Infinite, actually.
Ooh, infinite. But here we could just say x is, and again, if you have a calculator, we could say x is 0.86 times 72? 72. So this is one that we've already been told, right? We could do 0.86 times 72 in our calculator. I mean, I wonder if there's, so he, is how he wrote this right? No, he was going to end up, he was going to end up with this section, right? From here to here.
He needs to subtract that from.
He would need to subtract that from there.
That's what I did.
Now wait a minute though. What if instead of knowing the 100% and knowing the 72 and knowing, what if there was a different piece missing? Right? Like, so Ramon went to the corner store and bought notebook paper to do his homework. The cost for the paper was $7.50, but he also had to pay 8.1 sales tax. Actually, I think I'm getting ahead of myself that in tomorrow's lesson we explore what if other pieces are missing, which I was debating how much to cover today and if we got into the next lesson. I'm in great debate. Yep, that is the lesson. We should wait till tomorrow because there's not enough time to get this learning in. Try this with your teammate. Try your additional challenge. It's 31 in the book. Because I was going to try to make 30 more complicated, but I don't think I'm as good at that as Nick is. I think you're better at making, like, switching it to algebra. I think your brain can do that quicker than I can. I don't want to waste the time. You could be a great math teacher.
I have like a coding brain. I think I could. What if you are code then? What if you're just lying to the code simulator? Nick is just a robot.
Don't speculate that he's a robot. That's when his code responds to being said he's a robot. He does human things.
Hello.
That's when, like, his exhaust,
Violence.
his rear exhaust makes a noise to make humans think that you are human.
It's a human.
Rear exhaust.
It's a human.
Like a machine, except, like faster.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the higher up one. Yeah, we can do Yeah, I knew Liam liked
I
that.
said you're right.
Sorry. Well, we can switch that, or I might just try to get a third table in here because it's awkward just having one high one. Or I might like push another option back there. Remind me tomorrow morning. Can you do that? Because I won't be able to fix it today, but help me remember tomorrow morning.
Mr. Hudson,
Yeah.
so do we have to do the challenge if we work it out?
Do we what?
Do we have to do the challenge if we work it out?
We're up to do it together. So, I mean, I guess it was kind of up to you. Bradley! Unfortunately, everything in life has tax except for food. So Bradley, how food is not taxed? Not food like at the grocery store. I'm not talking about your Taco Bell. I'm talking about grocery store. I need a banana. It does not get taxed. It's what we call a necessity. This is one of the government stipulations on taxes. What's that?
Water get taxed?
No, food and water. I do not believe either of those things are taxed if it's actual necessity. Although, because you can have water just straight up from the city source, they might charge tax on bottled water. I don't know. I have to go find out. Somebody go to the grocery store, buy bottled water, tell me what your receipt says. We're moving on. Bradley, if you were trying to calculate what he's going to pay for the notebook, what math could you do? And let's assume you have a calculator, I guess.
Oh, I have a calculator.
Hey, look at that. How convenient.
Yeah. I just bring a calculator.
Well, so what can you do? Tell me what you can do with the calculator, though.
You could find 1%.
Yeah, but if we have a calculator, we don't really need to play by those 10% or 1%. So the new price is that $7.50. That's a fancy notebook. But then we're going to do what with it? It's just it's a lot of paper. So you automatically pay for the price of the notebook.
Yes.
And what else?
The sales tax.
And the tax. And because it's 8.1%, it's actually 0.81. No, 0.081. So we could also just say 7.50 times 1.081. This? Absolutely. This? I mean, it's money, so you should. Is it necessary? No.
If it's money, I can do it.
Is it gonna change your answer? No. Is it gonna confuse people potentially? Yes. When you're doing finance math, you normally leave 2 decimals. I know. But would you like it if your spreadsheet switched back and forth between 1 decimal spot and 2 decimal spots?
I mean, it doesn't really bother me.
But it bothers your accountant. I'm sorry.
Wait, you have an
I'm sorry.
accountant?
No. So, we could jump right like this and get our new tax total of what? 8.107. What do you think this store is going to do with that 07? Round this up. And it's really going to become $8.11.
What is sales tax on a
7.5 to 7 to 8%, depending on where you're at. It changes because it's county.
You should let us calculate your tax for your weekly groceries.
Hey, so, no joke. Gee, Zach, you had to go and do it.
We had to go into wait. No, don't say you're actually.
No, I don't think it's in the stuff I built folder. I need to get the other pictures off my things. I just sent them to a friend. Gas, and we don't have time for me to find this quickly. Gas is taxed 3 different ways. So there's your little challenge for any of you who are curious. If you end up with your parents getting gas somewhere tonight, try to figure out the 3 different ways that gas is taxed, and we will talk about this tomorrow. Have a wonderful night. Leave the books on your desk. I gotta come do random cards really fast.
Mr. Hudson.
Yes.
Can I tell you a dad joke?
Yeah.
Shuffling.
What?
Okay.
Okay. Is it appropriate?
Yes, it's not. It's about. No, it's about taxes.
Okay.
All right. So, taxes are your subscription to life, and childhood is your free trial.
That is true.
I don't know if I like that, because, what if I don't want to keep this free trial? What if I don't like these taxes?
Then,
I should show you guys how much of my paycheck goes to taxes. It's sad.
Are these our newest signs?
yeah, can you make sure to show
I mean,
us
for the
the
current
current
time,
numbers
for
on
today,
that?
it was. I don't need that turned on, man.